Gustavo Nunes is the latest teenage Brazilian to join the Premier League. So why have Brentford chosen his services, and what will the winger and attacker bring to the Premier League? This video is going to analyse his strengths and weaknesses, so let's take a look at the player.
Gustavo Nunes pega a sobra, ele vai no X1, levou na linha de fundo, travo!
Before we get started, if you like scouting analysis, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more videos. Nunes broke out early this year after competing and shining in the Copinha competition back in January. Since then, he's been making further appearances for the first team and has become a key member of the first team now, featuring in 11 games this season and contributing to 3 goals. Despite that, he's still quite raw, which makes his transfer to Brentford and the Premier League quite surprising. Nunes is a typical light, fleet-footed winger who is able to glide past players using his ball control and swift movement to get past them, which gives him the attributes to make quick dribbles and get around the back of defences. And whilst he's capable of beating defenders in foot races, he also lacks a bit of power, so in some occasions where he needs to use real force, he struggles to beat players. Players can brush him off the ball quite easily, as you can see in this case. Another example, he tries to come inside, but players find it easy to just knock him off the ball and take the ball off him. Another occasion here, tries to get past a player, but just lacks that real strength to force his way past them. In this occasion here, he just loses his balance after contact. You could also say he maybe lacks a bit of bite and aggression. Here he's trying to retain the ball, but he's just not able to use any kind of real conviction and strength on the ball. And in this case here, he comes on the inside, but shows a lack of power on his left. Typically starting out on the left side, Nunes' role is really to get past the defenders and get that ball into the channels as quickly as possible. You can see he's trying to drive the ball up the field here, staying out wide and trying to force defenders out of spaces so he can move into the space they leave behind. Another occasion here in a transition, it's his duty to get the ball up the pitch. He can drop into the central areas and pick up the ball in the half spaces where he tries to take defenders with him so that he can work space to get around the back. He's also starting to find more joy in central areas, so you'll see him often pick the ball up in central areas and move out towards the right. Here you can see he was very central and looks to just switch play to open things up. And of course he can play on the right hand side as well, so if he's looking for a bit more direct play, he can move down there, take on players and look to whip crosses in. Consistent contact with the ball, the right touch into space, and his ability to change direction quickly allow Nunes to burst into space and make the most of counter-attack situations, especially when space opens up. In this context here, you'll see that he just uses the 2 players and close control to get past them and then work the ball towards the penalty area. And because of this, he tends to force defenders to make errors and fouls. And in this situation here, he just draws the defender in at the right moment and then cuts inside quickly and passes into the space that he's just opened up. He's effective at working spaces using a quick shift of the foot here on his right foot to open up space. He can't find the cross on that occasion, but here again he just shifts his foot quickly, gets it onto his left foot, but can't execute the cross. Typically when space opens up, this is when Nunes really comes into his own, as he's able to twist, turn and shift the ball into the direction he wishes to go. However, in some static situations, he's incapable of sorting his feet out quick enough to really open the space and work the angle to take on a player. Here, he's predominantly using his right foot, which doesn't help him get out of that space. And again, a heavy touch, which is easy to combat. However, when he gets it right, he's able to really open up the space and finish well. Nunes separates himself from typical wingers as he's able to poach goals and use his scoring prowess to get into the right situation. You can see that he's just drifting into the right space at the right time, sometimes hanging back, waiting for a poaching opportunity. And once he's finished his dribbling action, he tends to pop up into the penalty area. You can see him hanging around the back post there, just waiting for an opportunity, and finishes. And he even drifts across into spaces such as the front post to get on the end of cutbacks. His goal threat normally comes from the spaces he finds himself in, such as on the shoulder of the last defender, where he's able to get in behind and provide cutbacks, but also once he gets inside these spaces in the penalty area. with the objective being to stretch the defence, get in behind and make a cutback. Although Nunes' finishing and shooting needs a lot of work, especially in and around the penalty area. He just lacks any kind of power or accuracy to get it over the defender. And you can see that he really lacks a lot of accuracy and precision with his strikes from the edge of the penalty area. He has a weak, inaccurate strike. And that precision and accuracy and lack of really also has effect with his crossing as well. Sometimes it's aimless and just inaccurate or lacks power and precision. So if Nunes is going to operate in these areas, he really needs to learn how to put some precision and swerve on his crossing rather than just hanging it up in the air like this one. And despite his ability to work the ball behind spaces, sometimes his decision making lets him down, where he's just not decisive enough in those final moments to either take on a player or get a crossing quickly. Here he opens up the space but chooses not to take the cross on both occasions, and by the time he does, there's no one in the space. There are also occasions when his team are in progression where his ball retention needs a lot of work. For example, he could have made a pass inside, chose not to, and ends up giving the ball away for a dangerous counter-attack. Despite that, Nunes is an intelligent player, especially when he's looking for those intricate through balls for his teammate. He often drifts into this central space here and looks to play in an on-running teammate. Again, he just drifts into that space, plays an outside of the boot pass through. And here, just an intricate, nice pass into the channel. Whilst Nunes does possess a lot of skills and attributes in the final third, his crossing needs a lot of work. Sometimes his selection is just incorrect, but there's other times he just lacks real conviction with his crossing ability. And to make him an all-round attacking prospect, he needs to use better selection, better technique. Often overhits and underhits his crosses. He certainly needs to work on this to become a much more effective player. Another example of him working the space well, but just not hitting the target with his cross. Against compact defences, Nunes may have some issues. His finishing is not the best, especially from the edge of the penalty area, and he'll need to develop some ability and attributes here to make him more of a deadly player from these situations. Quite wasteful, overhitting the ball, underhitting the ball as well. So Nunes does possess a lot of the qualities that would suit a team like Brentford. For example, fast in the transition, able to get past his men quickly. Ability to play on either flank is a huge benefit. So too is his ability to find pockets of space and arrive late in transitions to finish off moves. However, he does need to work a lot on his final third play, such as crossing, cutbacks, and his work on the edge of the penalty area, such as finishing and shooting. I'd also suggest that he needs to get a little bit tougher on the ball. His ball retention sometimes is not the best, and this will certainly prove a test in the Premier League for him. So tell me, what do you think about Nunes? Do you believe that he's going to be a success at Brentford and in the Premier League? Is he the next top Brazilian to have made the move? Or do you feel that his inadequacies are going to hold him back and make it very tough for him to transition to English football? Please let me know what you think. Leave your comments and hit that notification bell. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.